Do you like to?
Yeah, so we are going to sing now Sri Ram Jai Ram. And the reason we are singing this one is that Swamiji said that this particular chant, this particular version of the chant, it has a deep resonance with peace. In fact, there is a story of him recording this chant in a recording studio, and he was playing it beautifully. And then he told the sound engineer, wait, let's do it again. And the engineer said, but why? It was perfect. I said, now I have felt my energy has come here to this chakra, the Vishuddha chakra, which is a center of calmness and expansion. So he sang it again from there. The sound engineer thought they were both pretty much the same, but Swamiji felt that he was able to give that vibration that the chant, this particular chant, brings. So that's why we're doing this one.
So as we sing, we'll do the slow version. I think all of you must know it by now. And let's really sing, and even if you can't sing aloud, if for any reason you're outside or something, just at least sing mentally. Try to feel the peace filling each cell of us as we're singing. Nice to know, Rupali, that it's one of your favorite. Yeah, it is actually a very beautiful chant. So let's really try to feel that quality of peace before we even go into it. So please join us on this.
Just close your eyes for a moment. Feel the vibration of peace in yourself, maybe at the throat center. Peace already becoming a part of you as you withdraw into yourself. Keep your eyes uplifted. Keep your heart open, receptive. And let's offer a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, great masters of Kriya Yoga, saints of all religions, humbly we bow before you all. Divine Mother, guide us, that we may be actively calm and calmly active, that we might participate in the drama of life, but always be a little on the outside, fulfilling our duties, but not letting our duties take charge of our life in a way that we may remember your presence and feel your presence in all that we do. Om Shanti.
And you can just keep your eyes closed before we start officially. We'll just do a little practice together to relax the body. So before we do that, just listen to these words by Swami Kriyananda, who says, the secret of inner peace is inner relaxation. Physically, emotionally, mentally, and then spiritually. So let's try to feel this inner relaxation for a moment. So let's just do our tensing and relaxing with a little bit for emphasis on relaxation. So tense, double breath. Vibrate the body, each part of the body tense. Hold the tension, relax slowly. Relax, relax. Again, softly inhale. In control of our energy, low, medium, high vibration, tense each part of the body. Hold, slowly relax, high, medium, low. Relax, relax. One last time, just more softly this time. Tense, low, medium, high, hold, vibrate, relax slowly. And do a couple more double breaths as we with exhalation. And just throw the breath out, enjoy that release of any tension in the body. The secret of inner peace is inner relaxation, first physically. So just pay attention in your body. Is there any part that's still tense, still calling your attention? Just consciously relax it. You can even rotate if that's that particular muscle a few times. And breathe into that. Take a deep breath. And relax the physical body completely. Relaxation emotionally. So just pay attention to the heart now. Another thing Swami Kriyananda says, peace is a quiet heart. Pay attention to the heart. Is it quiet? Is it calm? Is it centered? Is it relaxed? If there's any agitation, any lingering excitement there, just relax completely. You can get to whatever needs to be addressed later. For now, we be here completely in this moment. And also mentally now. You can lightly tense the brain area and relax. Kind of bring energy into the brain and relax it completely. Whatever plans, thoughts, stress, worries, anxieties, just let it go. Fill the brain with peace. Fill the heart with peace. Fill each cell of the body with peace. And finally, spiritually. What does it mean to be spiritually in peace? spiritually relaxed. Just feel that peace, like in a visualization Swamiji gives, like a waterfall. Feel that peace just washing over you, surrounding you around your entire aura, filling the place where you're seated, the room, and expanding out from your center. Just feel that peace vibrating very strongly. And let's just enjoy that, gather it at the point between the eyebrows just for a few moments together. Let's enjoy this vibration of peace that we know it's familiar to us. We have touched it in meditation. We have touched it in our lives. Just bring back your awareness right now and enjoy that peace. A very dynamic peace, very active, very much there for us to access, to bring into our lives, to share with all. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Okay, so that feels nice to just tune in to that piece. I hope all of us felt some through the chant, through the music, through that little bit of consciously just recalling it in us. So that's one thing to start with, that actually Yogananda ji says it's not just something, like we have with joy. We've used this many times, but he would say even with peace, make it a point to actually bring this peace into life. Make it a point to use this peace in our activities, to kind of bring it out into our daily lives. Otherwise, it just becomes something, which, oh, maybe in meditation I feel a little, but the rest of the day I have no idea what does peace even mean? What does it look like? And that was just one thing to just kind of help manifest the quality of peace. That's one thing to just keep in mind for us as devotees, as Kriya Yogis, and just if we want to know peace, we need to be peace. We need to be sharing peace. We need to be bringing peace as well. And the more we do that, the more we tune into that, it's a real force. It's not something vague you're imagining. It's a real force that we are able to tap into, and deeper aspects. It becomes a deeper part of us in that way. So with that, just to give a little introduction sharing, and I want to also have you all write a few things down of just some thoughts on your own relationship with peace. So let's see where we can go with this. But just to begin, especially in these times, of course, especially in this month of May itself, let's say in India, peace, I'm sure, is a very big point, in everybody's mind with what just happened in the world. In general, it's a question, I think, that has gone on for a long time with all the current world that is in chaos, as we saw in the flyer that we put out, in chaotic times, in times that are turbulent, in times that are interesting, as we have that one saying, may you be born in interesting times, a famous Chinese proverb. So certainly these are interesting times. And then I think for the devotee, this question of peace is a constant one, and certainly I think not even just for the devotee, for just generally people. And it reaches a point where you come to an agreement, a peace treaty, you might say, that has to be met. So recently there was a peace treaty signed and everyone agreed to, cease fire, let's say. But inside ourselves also, it's a very interesting thing that these are also happening, right? We have to sign a peace treaty within ourselves daily. There'll be suddenly this thing will come up, this reaction will come up, and you have to say, hold on, can I just be peaceful? Can I come back to my center before I react, before I get into that, before I start fighting that war, you might say, and that comes up with us daily. So all of us have built some relationship with peace, isn't it? We all have something, otherwise we wouldn't be here today. And it's just interesting for us, though, I was thinking as I was preparing for this, to just see what is my relationship with peace. And so there are two factors here. The first is our personal relationship with peace. If you don't have peace, how can you expect to share anything? No, we can just be talking about it, but you're not going to be actually conveying it. And there's this very beautiful little story, Naya Swami Nitai. He has a wonderful book called For Goodness Sake. And it's all his experiences of working in a school and sharing with children. I think it's available in Ananda, India. Is it now?
I think
We can
limited,
check on that.
limitedly
Copies, but there is availability, so we can find it. But he wrote in that, different qualities, how to work with in the classroom with children. And there's one, for peace, especially. I was looking at that. And he talks about, there's this lady who basically did a peace walk. This was in the 1950s, and she just did that for 30 years of her life till the end of her life. And in that, basically, she just was kind of walking around and trying to share that peace, that vibration with people. And one of the things that she wrote in the book was she was visiting a family, who was very much, the parents were very much interested in, I'm going to bring up my children. We are going to bring up our children to be, very aware of the concept of peace. So what they would do every day at the dinner table, they will sit down and they will have these sermons on peace. They would give the children, and the kids would listen and whatever not, right? But one day, the father got upset over something, so he shouted at the son. The next day, the son shouted in the same way at the sibling. The next day, and so it carried on. So that energy, and so the observation that this person made, the peacemaker person made, was it's not enough to just speak it, because people, what the children were absorbing, obviously, was the energy that the parent was communicating. And they picked up the moment there was that disharmonious energy, that was transmitted immediately to the next and whatever not. And so it's more important, it was her observation, that you be peace, you share peace at the dining table rather than talk about it. And in a way, that's also our job. Master has, Yogananda ji has given that to us as for Kriya. Don't just sit, do your meditation and then get up and go on. It's your duty to bring whatever you feel consciously into your work, into your family, your environment, right? So obviously there's first this inside here, and then our relationship with our environment. So a couple of questions, and let's just spend a few moments noting down. Let's start with for myself. And so you can just pen down. I have a couple of questions for you. Is, first of all, do I want peace? No? What is my own relationship with peace usually? Now, you might just say, of course, but in a situation, let's say, which is a situation of conflict, right? Let's say some turbulence has come up, some argument is going on, some heated discussion. In that moment, do you want peace? Or are you more interested in stating your opinion usually? And that could just be a little introspection you can note down. Maybe you can even write down a latest, maybe some disharmonious, difficult situation was there. Did you bring peace? Or did you get a little, and then you brought a little disharmonious energy or a little strong energy or something, which didn't help, and you didn't feel very good. It disturbed your own peace afterwards, right? Because you weren't able to bring that. So just go a little more subtle with it. It's like, yeah, I want peace, but when something comes up, do I bring the peace to that? Am I able to generally remember, oh, right, that meditative peace should be brought in this, not me getting excited and out of my center. And in harsh situations, go extreme, in the most harsh one. So that's one. And then even sometimes, maybe you would have had an experience, at least once, let's say the most recent one, where there was a difficult situation. And for any reason, maybe your meditation was good, maybe you remember to do the peace and harmony prayer, maybe something you did, you actually brought peace into that situation. And others also felt it. It shouldn't just be that, I thought I was bringing peace, but everyone else didn't feel it. No, it should be like, it was a real force, you could feel it, and you were surprised, maybe, if you aren't used to doing that. Like I have one example for myself where I was surprised, no? And it wasn't usually my vibration. So just note that down, that situation. What was it? Just for your own memory, so you're aware. And that somehow this divine peace flowed through and you felt it. Your voice showed it, your energy showed it, your behavior, and other people felt uplifted in that. So that's a little bit for ourselves. And maybe also you can note down, do I practice the peace and harmony prayer? Do I remember the peace and harmony prayer? Whenever something comes up, Yogananda ji said, use that prayer to dissolve disharmonious relationship. If there's a disharmony in two relationships or in, of course, conflict in world peace, etc. Do we remember to do that? That's a very big tool. Recently, somebody came and was chatting with us in the center about here in Chandigarh about having a very difficult, turbulent work situation going on. And some very, it could have become very big, very legal things and whatever. And we suggested them the peace and harmony prayer. They were very disturbed. And within a day or two, they came back saying, wow, that really works. It looks so simple, but it really, for the first time, brought some peace to my head, first of all, that I can actually just relax. Otherwise, I was trying to just give it to the guru and you figure it out, but it wasn't working because I was so agitated. So it helped them to be in that vibration of peace, first of all. So that's for ourselves. And then let's just do a little bit more introspection for others. So in our environment, in your environment, let's say, daily, absolutely. Recently, we all, I think, have been doing the peace and harmony prayer. And I think there is an impact, at least for ourselves, we bring a vibration. And now for others, do I have people around me who want peace? That's also an important thing for you to just pay attention, no? Because maybe sometimes we are forced to be in environments where people just don't want peace. They want to fight. They want to, tell you what they think. And that's totally fine. That's where they are at. But if that's our environment, we need to be aware of what are we up against. And also in that, are there a few peaceful people? Do I have daily that I meet any peaceful people? Maybe you can even write down who are the peaceful people who you can maybe have daily contact. It could even be like a shopkeeper or, a tailor. I don't know. I just went to give one of my kurta for alteration, and that tailor always has such a nice vibration. I keep going to him. I just like to he's always really like relaxed. You never know, the milk wala. Just our daily people, the maid who comes in may have it, or just someone in the family. And if you know any of them, or if you can't think of someone day to day because you're in a very stressful environment and everyone's always stressed, but who is the most peaceful person you have ever met? This could be a nice little, just because once you identify who is that most peaceful person, how do they behave? How do they do their daily tasks? What are some example of theirs which you enjoyed, which you thought, wow, this is how I should be living more. This is the vibration I should be portraying. Like I was even thinking of, there's this one devotee who comes to do the altar here in Chandigarh, and I get to serve with her in that way. And her pace is very different from mine. So every time I serve with her, I enter this little bit of like a shanti, wherein my thing is usually like fast, let's do this quickly, and then the next thing, and I've found like great joy. I feel like it's a gift from the guru of like, how do you do an altar with peace versus you can do it fast, but did you have peace in the process? No, and it's just a very good for me, that would be an example of the most recent peaceful person. Even the way she drives, even everything has got this element of at my time, in its own time, in Guru's time. And I love that because it's so different from my vibration. And so maybe you have something like that in your daily life, somebody you get to work with or someone at home, again, could be anybody, but they bring that vibration. So those are just little starting energy, starting points. And like I was also saying, what Swamiji gives, he gives some beautiful, there's a book that is there of Secrets of Inner Peace. And that was the first one which I read to you. The secret of inner peace is inner relaxation. Maybe that's another thing to note down because, many times we are so just, that's it, we're just ready to accelerate literally and also inwardly. But to relax is a secret of peace. The moment we're like, suddenly that peace has a chance to be there. Otherwise, we won't feel it. And also, he says, it's a quiet heart, which I told you, and also giving full interested attention to whatever you do. So those of you in high energy jobs, our usual thing is multitask, and let me do this fast and then that fast and let me do and then at the end of it, I don't think we feel very peaceful when we work like that, no? Versus when you do it with full interested attention, done, and that we have told this example of Swamiji many times. No, one thing completely 100%, and then the next thing 100%. And then you actually have a chance to access that inner peace in the process. And maybe I'll end on this. No, it's just like these are just again some examples from him where he said, and maybe Bharat will go more into that, he made peace his bottom line. What does that mean? We want to go more into that. Swamiji said, I made peace my bottom line. If it disturbs my peace, then I won't do it. I'll leave it. But was his bottom line. And also with that in mind, there's always this wonderful example of, which also gives an example of peace, where his secretary, Swami Lakshman, I think it was, who came to him and wanted to ask him a question. And Swamiji was in the computer, let's say, writing his book, or writing something. And so he was just there. He acknowledged, yes, I'll be right with you. And then he just finished it here, stopped, looked at Lakshman, 100%. No, it was just like full 100% there, 100%. You're not like, yes, what would you like to do? And, usually we'll do that, right? Like, let me just keep typing. Yeah, keep telling me, And in the process of it, we don't have any chance to have any centeredness of peace. And it's a wonderful little corrections which we can observe in our own lives, as we introspect those little moments you try to find where can I touch that peace again? Can I access that peace? And on that note, I read this, these little reels pop up on Instagram. And there's this Japanese concept called M-A. And it popped up yesterday, and it was a lovely video. And I was actually preparing for this. I don't know if any of you have heard it. You can Google it. I won't tell much, but just the word M-A. And what is that? Is the space. So they're saying it's the pauses, or like the empty space that the Japanese culture really puts emphasis on creating. So for example, before a temple, right? Like you go to a Japanese temple, there's a long entry road like this that leads to the temple. We were recently with my family in Dharamshala in a monastery, and there was a long kind of way to reach that monastery, and you're just walking. And of course, the monks who go, they go at their own pace, and it just reminded me of that. It's that space you create between, let's say, the busyness versus the time to just enter, into the temple. Or in their art, they have a lot of empty spaces, so they don't just fill everything. And that's also that concept of creating that space in our lives. And what is that you find, that moment where you pause, you can connect with that stillness in yourself. So some people were even writing, in the morning, my cup of tea and just listening to the birds before anything else starts, and the busyness of the day, that that pause. And I just loved, I thought that was it, because it's also there, find moments to come back to that peace throughout the day. Because if we don't do that and we expect in our meditation to have it, our meditation is just like, and it's too hard to expect that from the meditation in a way. So these are a few little thoughts from my side on it. And now,
thank you, Shamini. Wonderful thoughts. In that story of Lakshman and Swamiji, yes, Swamiji was not typing and talking to Lakshman, but also he made very clear to his secretary that I will finish this and I will be with you. And many a times we let people distract us too much. The first thing that comes, oh, yes, what do you want? And we go away, or whatever it may be. Of course, in a corporate environment, sometimes you cannot avoid those things, or even some degree of multitasking, because it's the culture. And, but to the best of your ability, if your boss comes and starts talking to you, you're not going to say, wait a minute, I'm finishing this up, wait for 10 minutes. He's going to, really? I'll let you wait for a whole year. Okay, to get out of here. But
Fire.
Yeah. But nevertheless, to the best of your ability, you can do it at work and in any other circumstance that you can. Now, when Shamini was talking about do we want peace, it's a very good thing to ask ourselves because, yes, as she said, usually we will say yes. And there's a story of a man who he went to a restaurant and he ordered a certain dish and he didn't quite like it. So he called the the waiter said, what is this? This is not a good dish. What do you do to it? And the waiter, I think that's the way we always do it. Oh, but it's really not tasting good. So he called the chef and told the chef, what have you done to this dish? It's really not tasting very well. And they said, I don't know, sir. This is the way that we always cook our food. And he started complaining and say, oh, I know the manager and I know so and so, and and then of course they didn't want to lose their job, so they said, okay, we'll make it again for you, sir. And then after a few minutes they brought back another meal, and the man said, take it away, I'd rather be mad. The person rather be upset than to get the solution. And that's frankly sometimes that's how many of us can be in different situations. Mind you, in some situations we feel I need to be righteously indignated. This person did this and this is righteous indignation that I feel this way. I don't want their apology, whatever it may be. We oftentimes kid ourselves in this way. But obviously we understand this, but I think we had to cement it even more and more in our minds that the kind of peace that we want, I love what Swamiji used to say, is a peace of victory. Because there are different kinds of peace. There is the peace of defeat. I guess it's the opposite of victory, that, whenever some test comes, too much for me, I'm going to withdraw, not in the positive way. Sometimes to withdraw is good, as Shamini said, signing the peace treaty, or but we say, I don't have enough energy. I'd rather go into sleep. I'd rather go distract myself. That negative withdrawal. The positive withdrawal will say, I am not strong enough yet to face this. Let me gather my forces so that I can face it. See, it's a very big difference between the two. So, but that brings a certain peace. We know when we put it out of our minds, we just run away from it. We all know, though, it's going to eventually catch up with us in one way or the other. But nevertheless, then there is the peace of, everything around me is just quiet. You get this kind of peace many times when you go to the mountains, when you go to a lake, when you go out into nature, that everything around you is peaceful. So it quiets the mind enough, it quiets the heart enough, usually the environment. But that in itself doesn't give you peace. That only allows you to feel peace that is already inside of yourself. But who can be, living by the ocean or whatever for the rest of their life with nothing to do? It will become just very boring, or you'll run out of money, I suppose. But the peace that we want as disciples, as high energy people, really, is the peace of victory. The peace of, really, Master just explained it beautifully. The peace of being calmly active and actively calm. I think that's a really great model for us to base on life. Actively, calmly active, that yes, we all understand that life will give us so many things. Even if we feel like everything around us, or job or relationship, whatever, is very great and peaceful, suddenly, he will have a war come at you, or a pandemic, or whatever it may be. Those are just two little examples, but so many things that are totally out of our control, that are imposed, even globally, can come and shake us. But being calmly active means that no matter what happens, global catastrophe, personal catastrophe, work catastrophe, whatever it may be, we are able to stay at our center. And this is what obviously Swamiji said, making inner peace is bottom line, which is he made it his personal goal. He didn't necessarily say that we all should make that, but certainly if he made it, is something good to strive. And he said that even if mind you, he was, of course, the leader of a big community. If people will come and with all these requests and all that, he will say, if he knew his inner peace is going to be at stake, he would say, no, I'm not going to deal with that. I'll do it at my own pace. He did say, however, my pace tends to be very fast anyway. So it's not like he will take oh, I'll do it in next week, the week after, maybe with some things. But he didn't allow all those pressures to be this restlessness in him. Oh my God. He said, I will do it at my own pace. And actually, if you think about it, if you say that, it already gives you a lot of peace. Because what does it mean? Too many things coming at the same time, push them away for some time and say, okay, at my own pace, what is the first thing I do? And you take care of one thing. And then you take care of, like what Shamini was saying, focus at one thing at a time. And I feel that if we want to make both peace, inner peace, our bottom line, it means, yes, withdraw a little bit from these realities and concentrate on one at a time in a way that you actually can do it. It will be more effective and in a way that will help you do it better because you are centered. And of course, actively calm is that actively we put energy into being calm, which for me means practicing what some of the exercises we'll do today, meditation and all these things. Both go hand in hand. As Shamini say, if we don't have peace, we will not be able to flow with peace. We need to feel that peace first and to understand that it's that peace that will allow us to feel other things in the future. It will allow us to act with joy. It will allow us to act with love. If we don't have peace, as Krishna says in the Gita, without peace, how is happiness even possible? So it's the very minimum to have some degree of peace in our lives in order to succeed. Now, I wanted us to, because I think we are, as yogis understand, but we need to dive deeper in the concept that it is really all in us. There is nothing but what we feel in ourselves. I wanted to give, as we said, we'll do some exercises, but I wanted to go over some qualities that, or some peace thieves, you could call them, things that we often do in life that actually we take away from our peace or our ability to feel peace. So I wanted to name a few, and I wanted you to introspect and see how it applies to you, maybe write down, and there may be too many to work. Don't be, don't leave your peace because there are too many things that steal your peace, that we are telling you too many things to, So again, same concept, work on one at a time. Take one or two and work on these things. And then you will see your strength will be renewed and you'll be able to work in the others. In fact, you will see that the others will call less to you. So I wrote a few here and I wanted to narrow it down to 3 or so, but I thought that many are quite important. So I'll go a little quick towards them and I'll give a little explanation. So the first one is one that is a big one, even for me. Distractions. In this day and age, there's just way too many, and we carry the biggest one in our pockets, in our hands. We refer to it. Some of you are using it in the right way right now to watch this class, so that's good, But it is amazing how much time we spend distracting ourselves. Now, I've noticed this in myself many times that, if I have, 4 minutes, sometimes my impulse is, oh, let me just check my phone and see something. But we don't realize that, like Shamini was saying, this Japanese concept is so beautiful. If you don't give space, if you don't have space in between even your activities, in between whatever it is, there has to be a moment of rest. If you don't have a moment of rest, your mind will never have time to even think about deeper things, even to think about some things you may need to do. And then all that restlessness will come either during your meditation time or it will not allow you to concentrate fully in other things because you didn't give your mind enough time to think about these things at the time that it was. Actually, you had time to do it. So distractions, how many distractions do we have? Yes. I guess the phone is to say one, but I wanted you to go deeper than that because there is Instagram, or some people still use Facebook, or there is YouTube, or there is maybe little games in your mobile phone. The phone has so many branches, you cannot just be vague about it. Or is the news, reading the news on your phone, or whatever it may be. There can be a whole range. And take a moment and see what are the things that you use to distract yourself. Now, when it comes to distractions, it is important that even for peace of mind, we find a time that we can relax the mind. And some are distractions. We need some distractions in our daily life, but it's good to have a structured time for distraction and to have the right kind of distraction. Now, I'm calling it distraction, but it's relaxation, really. Usually we use distractions in order to relax, but they become more restless activities than relaxation, So it is good for us to find a time that, yes, we can dedicate for conscious relaxation. And, part of your relaxation can be also being on Instagram for a little bit and watch reels, I enjoy doing that for some time, but I know that sometimes it's overdone because we are overstimulating ourselves. In fact, people have become very clever and there's so many fun clips and all that, but I've noticed that there is a particular song that's been popping up a lot these days. And I think the song is called Anxiety. And, there's something like, there's someone watching over me is my anxiety, or something like that, it says. And that song is in so many videos these days. And it's like, I can see why this song is so popular now, because I think everybody is feeling that way. And it's because everybody is on their phones looking at all these things all the time. And, it is what it is. So even these things, try to limit them, but try to find some way to relax the mind that will be a little more energizing as well. That it will not just be so subconscious. And so the thing of the phone these days is that everything is so fast that in that pace, you just cannot. It just ruins your mind, really. Now, distractions are a big thing. Another thing that you can do for distractions, something that I try to do as much as I can, is if I'm driving or things like that, or if I have a little moment, just do a few kriyas. Do a few kriyas and go back to your center. You will see that doing that can be sometimes I feel it's more blissful than during my meditation time. I guess it's because I tell myself, oh, I'm doing something useful, in this time that I could be doing something really useless. So although they are important, have a time for them and make your relaxation count in a way that is actually relaxing. Now, that's a little bit about that. The other one that comes with this is overstimulation of the senses. Now, the reason why the phone and these things we do on the phone usually is so bad is because it really overstimulates our senses. It overstimulates our hearing, or sight, or or thinking. But there are other ways we overstimulate the senses as well. The sense of feeling, the sense of eating, the watching things. Not gonna talk too much about that one. Those we spend a lot of time with. Now, this is another one that I feel is very important. And ask yourself, how much do I complain about things? And I have a feeling that some people make complaining just a habit. Because if the day is sunny, is, oh my God, it's so hot today. Then they start raining and, oh wow, it's raining, but oh no, now it's humid and it's hot and humid. Then there'll be, oh my God, why are people doing this? Oh my God, there is so much noise outside. Oh my God, everything is a complaint. And that's something that obviously ruins your peace of mind, and is basically giving the senses full control over you, and just caring about things that really don't matter and that you really don't have control over. If you can control the rain, you can control the heat and all that, fine, you can. But some things you just have no control about it. So why complain about them? And why make it a habit to complain about them? Because if we complain about these little things, we are going to complain about the bigger things, and suddenly we're going to see, oh, this person is this way, and oh, that person is this way, oh, and life is so unfair, and oh. So how much do you complain versus how much do you think things more as an observer? So something that is good to do, that I try to do myself, is, it is hot, but just, today is hot, bus. Just as a neutral thing. You don't have to necessarily react to it, just state a fact. And the funny thing is that if you just state things as facts and kind of distance yourself from them, and they don't bother you so much. I know when I was new to India, now this is part of because of my own mental tendencies and wanting to be like other people, but I had this whole thing that I like the cold, I don't like the hot. I had that in my mind. Oh, I don't enjoy being in the sun because it's hot. I like the shade. And it was a silly thing, but then when I found myself in Pune, in the rural area, and I had to work outside, there was no choice but to be in the sun and in the heat. But I remember one day I said, I'm just going to make the sun my friend. And I don't know what happened. It usually never things happen so instantly for me. But after that day, it just didn't bother me anymore. It's not that I go sunbathing, when it's 45 degrees outside, but still, I just don't mind it so much. And the sun doesn't bother me. I know I had to be careful because if, with my complexion and whatnot, if I'm too much in the sun, I get headaches, I get all red, I start peeling off, so many things happen. But at least it doesn't bother me. And I think when we complain, usually is that thing that starts bothering us and we react. And that, of course, is a peace killer right away. Now, just reactions, of course, how much do I react to things as versus how much I am able to just be an observer. Now, I'm not going to talk about that much. Also about worry. Worry certainly is one of those. But maybe I'll talk about one more. Yeah, 1.5 more. One is that, and this is something we had to develop, but do we tend to overthink and think too much about the future? It is okay to plan for the future, but every single detail is not helpful. Swamiji, in fact, said that many a times we let our peace go because we overplan things. We plan too many things for ourselves, even for our own daily schedule. I have found that of late because I've been trying to do too many things, with exercise and learn instrument and do my seva and of course my meditation and find some time to relax and some time to spend with Shamini and some time to, and I try to make this thing like, okay, I'm gonna calculate it everything in one day when I'm gonna do everything. And then, in the early morning already things go out of tune, I am already out of track. I make this think, oh my God, I'm supposed to do all these things today. And it's really self-inflicted, So we need to learn to flow a little bit and not fill our days. Yes, we have those things. It's good to plan for the day, but keep a little gap also for some maneuverability, to maneuver, to be able to flow with what the day is trying to happen and with what other people need. It is also not just about me, what I want, I wanted to do this. And so that's an important one. And the last one, before we opening it up, is that because we are yogis, I suppose, don't give enough attention that we are in a physical body. So the physical body is going to have impact over us, whether we like it or not. We are trying to get away from the body. We are trying to let the body not control us, which is all good, but we need to give due to the body. And you will find that much more clarity, peace of mind, and ability to actually concentrate and see, even helps with your intuition to some degree, is to keep the body well, to do some exercise every day or every other day, to eat right. And Swamiji emphasized this one strongly: breathe deeply. Of course, most of us have Kriya, which is a deep breathing exercise in the superficial application of Kriya. But even just spend some time after work or during work. Exercise, of course, you cannot during work, but control a little bit to some degree your exercise and your diet, and spend different times of the day just to breathe, to take some breath, and you will see how much mental clarity that gives. For some time, I used to have an alarm that after so much time, I will do some deep breathing, some full yogic breath, or some way or the other to bring the mind back into the self. So anyway, these are some of the peace tips. And again, work on one or two of them combined with meditation and whatever else. So don't make this the stress of your life. Finding peace should not be the stress of your life. You know?
It's like one of the next level of peace thief is finding peace.
Yeah. I'm trying so hard to be at peace that my peace is going away. Yeah. So maybe we'll go over some exercises now.
Yeah, we just do one very beautiful healing technique of masters, which wanted to share with you all, and then also a little meditation perhaps to end. But I just wanted to say also sharing. One is, of course, do kriyas in between that master said, but also we were reading in the online community the Glowing Health book. No, master talks about relaxation and the Hong So technique to relax. And he says, which was very interesting. We had a whole discussion. He actually says, do Hong So at any point in the day. Take out time even while you're doing activity and go back to Hong So. He said, don't do it if you're driving though. So obviously if you're doing something, active like that, you can't go into that. But if you're sitting in the passenger seat, I always thought it was like Hong So had to be done while in meditation. Like I had this impression. But especially if we need to, no, of course, the kriyas he said at any time, but maybe do a little Hong So, get into that piece and then do. And I thought that could be a nice tip. And the other, just on a lighter note, we were talking about the song, and Priyanka, that's so sad to know that your son knows that song. And it was just like, for us, we didn't know, we don't keep up with music, no? So of these worldly things. So suddenly hearing that in reel after reel, at some point we were like, what is it saying exactly? And then we saw the name.
It already makes you feel a little strange just listening to it.
And we just started laughing and laughing. Oh my God, anxiety, and people are singing this, and this is crazy. Like, why would you need to sing that? Like, we already have enough. No, it's just like, why would you affirm that? But I remember one devotee when Facebook first came. So this was like 10 years ago. They were getting a Facebook account. They had been on the path for some time. And I remember like she was making me help her make an account on Facebook. And at that time, they started the reactions. And it was just so amusing to her, like, I'm going to react to this person saying something. It's like the exact opposite of the teachings. We don't want to react. Now it's telling me go and react. And what has somebody reacted? And so we also make fun of these things as devotees, find humor, of just like, I want to control my reactions. Maybe cut down on that time there, and like, not be in those vibrations. I was just thinking that some of these are really fun, no? So maybe we'll have more discussion, but we'll just quickly go through a little practice before we run out of time. And then at the end, we'll have plenty of time to share more. And any thoughts, please type it in the chat. So let's just prepare for a very short healing activity. This is something Yogananda ji gave. It's called the vital healing technique. I think that was the name. But I'm just modifying it a little bit to make it to peace. He said basically feel energy, but we'll just make that energy into peace, basically. So let's just close our eyes if we can. Could you bring the Glowing Health book as well? No, sorry, the Divine Will Healing book. I have to tell them what it was exactly. So let's just close our eyes. And let's again just tense, relax the body. And just relax back, sit up straight one more time. And relax. And again, take 3 exhalations through nose and mouth. And now just take few deep breaths. Inhale and exhale diaphragmatically. In a deep inhalation, let the breath fill the lungs. As you exhale, let the breath go completely out of the lungs and relax. Take 2 or 3 diaphragmatic breaths in this way. Inhale, expanding the stomach, the diaphragm, the lung capacity, everything. And exhale. And now Yogananda ji says, inhale, take a nice deep breath. And now as you hold the breath, let that energy, that inhalation, that breath convert into energy. So we're going to convert that breath, inhaled breath, into energy. And gaze up at the spiritual eye. Bring that energy to the spiritual eye. And as you exhale, send that energy to any part of the body which needs that energy. It could be if you need just to your mind, to your heart, if you need a little more peace there, or any particular part which is giving you trouble, tension, and just relax. So we'll do this a few times. Now that energy, we'll convert it into peace, the energy of peace. So again, inhale, deep breath, as that energy fills the lungs. Feel it converted to energy, bring it through the medulla oblongata to the spiritual eye. And as you exhale, let that energy go to any particular part of the body. Again, inhale, deep breath, and hold the breath. Visualize the air in the lungs transforming into peace. And send that peace through the medulla to the spiritual eye. And as you exhale, feel that peace. Direct that warm force, that warm energy of peace to any part of the body, saturated with peace. Let's do this 2 or 3 more times. Again, very powerful exercise. Inhale deeply and hold the breath. Convert that energy into peace. Convert that inhalation into peace. Direct it to the spiritual eye. And as you exhale, send that peace. Now let's send it again to the heart, to the mind, to the entire body. Keeping that visualization of peace, filling, flooding the entire body with the exhalation. Again, inhale. Hold, convert the inhalation into peace energy. Bring it to the spiritual eye. And direct it as you exhale, slowly, consciously send that energy of peace to the entire body, mind, heart. Let's do this 2 more times on our own. This very powerful, vital healing exercise from Master. Inhale, hold the breath, and convert that into peace. Convert that air into peace. And exhale slowly, send that energy to the body parts, to the heart, to the mind, saturating the body with peace. Again, last time, inhale, hold that peace at the spiritual eye. Very slowly exhale, send that peace to the entire body, to the heart, to the mind. And relax. And now take a deep breath, inhale, exhale 3 times through nose and mouth. And now let the breath flow naturally, and just for a moment, enjoy that peace, consciously directed into the body. And let's work with that peace in our meditation. A very brief practice of meditation. Let's take that peace.
So as you keep your eyes closed and you enjoy the after effect of this wonderful technique, take some time to observe the breath, not necessarily practicing Hong So, but you can practice Hong So if you want. As we know, the direct result of Hong So is peace. So you can watch the breath for a few moments. But after doing this particular exercise, you will find your breath already is quite calm. So try to focus at the space between the two breaths more strongly than usual. Enjoy those pauses that bring pause to your brain, to your heart. And you can even extend those pauses consciously a little bit, maybe less than a second or so. Whenever there's a pause, just extend it a tiny bit to enjoy it even more. But very minimally, because we want to not really control the breath, but we want to emphasize right now the pause between the breath. Feel with every exhalation, you are letting go of all thoughts and worries. And in the pause, they are being purified. And especially in the pause, you are feeling the upliftment of inner silence. Enjoy that for a few more moments. And then we listen to Swamiji read one of the metaphysical meditations on peace.
Peace flows through my heart and blows through me as a zephyr. Peace fills me like a fragrance. Peace runs through me like rays. Peace stabs the heart of noise and worries. Peace burns through my disquietude. Peace, like a globe of fire, expands and fills my omnipresence. Peace, like an ocean, rolls on in all space. Peace, like red blood, vitalizes the veins of my thoughts. Peace, like a boundless aureole, encircles my body of infinity. Peace flames pour through the pores of my flesh and through all space. The perfume of peace flows over the gardens of blossoms. The wine of peace runs perpetually through the winepress of all hearts. Peace is the breath of stones, stars, and sages. Peace is the ambrosial wine of spirit, flowing from the cask of silence, which I quaff with my countless mouths of atoms.
Let's rest for a moment in that peace and expand it beyond yourself. Remember, to have something, we must share it. When we have it and share it, it grows. When we try to hoard it for ourselves, it gets taken from us. Feel that your peace, God's peace, is expanding all around you. And see it all around the world. And with that, we'll conclude doing the peace and harmony prayer for the entire world. So you can repeat at the same time with us as we do it 10 times for the world, 4 times for ourselves. The words are, Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Just feel that visualization of peace going from your center in all the world as we do this prayer. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill me with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill me with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill me with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill me with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Keep that visualization strong, and also maybe bring to mind a few individuals to whom you would like to bring this peace and harmony. And let's draw our hands together and share the blessings out to the world and to those who are in need. Keep sharing for a little longer these blessings out into the world, feeling that you're a channel of this peace everywhere. Om Shanti Shanti. That meditation was a little briefer than I wanted, but this concept of having some breathing time and then watching the breath, and especially watching the pauses, it can be a very wonderful way to bring you back almost immediately, honestly, to your center.
Yeah. I like Ulhas. I love your question. That's a very good one for all of us to reflect on. I was thinking, no, whether peace is a prerequisite for meditation or meditation brings peace. And it's a very, very good question, no? Because like usually Swamiji had this very nice quote, no? If you want to know joy, seek to bring joy, seek to share joy. If you want to know peace, seek to share peace or bring peace into what you do. And this is the same thing, no? Like it's always a both, isn't it? Like if we do our work with peace and calmness, when we go to sit to meditate, we will probably have peace already, and then we can go deeper. And sometimes if we take that peace from meditation into our activity, we'll be able to bring that also. So it's like a cycle, no?
Right. I think you're right. I think certainly you cannot meditate if you don't have some peace, but through meditation, you also receive the peace. I think we start receiving peace even before we actually go into deep meditation, but without that peace to start with, it is impossible to go into deep meditation. As Shamini says, both and.
Yeah. Yeah. So any final thoughts? And most welcome. We are here, but maybe some of our homework, I was thinking, could be just let's all do the peace and harmony prayer. Let's just keep it going, no? Bring that vibration. It's very much needed right now. And
breathe.
And breathe and exercise and eat well. Those things.
And the thieves also, look at them.
Pay attention to the blocks. And also, like, I was just thinking something so simple, like there's this mantra box which you can get from Ananda, and we have it, here, and we play it. And one from Delhi has Sri Ram Jai Ram also. And again, maybe if you, get that, or you can maybe just keep that japa going as well right now. If we want to play with this vibration of peace, try to feel, with Swamiji's melody, it could be a lovely homework. So lots of homework.
To be stressed about. Not to be stressed about.
Yeah. And maybe we can do something follow up on peace, no? And maybe all of us can share, go deeper. Let's see. We will try to do something in a month, maybe, if we can.
No promise, but we'll try. Yeah. You had to remind us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Pramila ji, for adding your peace to the session.
If you want peace, be with Pramila ji.
Yes. Now Pramila ji will run away.
Nice to see you, Pramila ji. For a moment.
Awesome.
Om Guru. Good. Peacefully.